Summer is here and I know you're excited, especially since the COVID-19 restrictions have been relaxed. But be reminded that your health is no more than ever your responsibility, and you must take the necessary precautions to keep yourselves and family safe. Another important reminder is to ensure that you spend your days productively. If you are a student or recent high school graduate in Jamaica, today's magazine is all about helping you to do that. So sit back, get your books and pencils ready as I take you through the pages.
As of July 1, government's ban on entertainment events has been lifted. It means a return to concerts, parties, round robins, handing over and groundbreaking ceremonies, but with COVID-specific rules in place.
I'm making a special appeal to the industry. I'm making a special appeal to the stakeholders. I'm making a very special plea to the public who will attend these events. You're going to have to observe the protocol. You're going to have to wear your mask. You're going to have to sanitize. You're going to have to keep your distance. And you're going to have to appreciate the fact that you have a personal responsibility and that our future is in your hands.
Organizers of events with 100 attendees or less must apply for permits through their local authorities. Those larger than 100 attendees must send applications to the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. Email mcges2021@gmail.com or call 876-565-7985.
I want to thank you all in advance for your cooperation.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Friday, July 9, 2021. Government's National Summer School Program got off to a good start during its first week of operation. Education Minister Favour Williams says 16,530 students were engaged in face-to-face classes, while approximately 27,000 students benefited from online sessions on Learning Hub, Edufocal, and One-on-One Educational Services Limited.
Our expectation is that as we go through the program, we will continue to see an increase in the number of students, the number of schools, number of tutors that come online, and we are happy with the start of the program. It's a major initiative for all our children in recognition of the learning loss and learning gaps that they would have been experiencing.
Minister Williams made the statements at the post-cabinet media briefing on Wednesday. The month-long National Summer School Program was scheduled to begin on July 5 but was delayed by a day due to inclement weather associated with the passage of Tropical Storm Elsa. The initiative forms part of government's Recover Smarter National School Learning and Intervention Plan, which aims to help students recover from learning loss due to the COVID-19 pandemic. To further strengthen the child care and protection sector, the National Parenting Support Commission will soon be merged with the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. Portfolio Minister Favour Williams says the merger will facilitate better coordination of support services for children in state care.
CPFSA was a coming together or a merger of the OCR, Office of the Children's Registry, plus the CDA. That reform process is ongoing. I know operationally they are together. The legal work is being completed. But additionally, there's still another step to go in terms of merging together with the CPFSA, the NPSC, National Parenting Support Commission, for a more holistic and coordinated approach to all the services that our children who are in state care would need.
Minister Williams was speaking during the recent groundbreaking for a new therapeutic center for the Child Protection and Family Services Agency. Formerly known as the Child Development Agency, the CPFSA is responsible for enabling a stable and nurturing living environment for children in need of care and protection. The agency was renamed following its merger with the Office of the Children's Registry, OCR, in 2017. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has promised to place greater emphasis on school infrastructure as the state gears up to resume in-person classes. According to Mr. Holness, attention will be paid to the design and building of schools to ensure that classes can be held without disruption from other lessons being conducted in close proximity.
We have to build our schools for airflow and light and to facilitate more outdoor teaching. So we have to pay more attention to the environment of the school. So all of those things we have to now incorporate, because we can't keep the children home forever. And we will have to put in place, when we go back to face-to-face learning, principals and teachers will have to be far more creative.
Mr. Holness was speaking recently as he handed over 40 tablet computers and a printer to students in southern Trelawney. The donation forms part of his Positive Jamaica Foundation outreach program to provide children with electronic learning devices. He called on parents to make plans to replace the devices given their short, useful life.
Start putting aside from now. Right? Don't expect that there's going to be another round of gift of these tablets. All right? Start preparing to have them replaced, because this is the nature of the world in which we live. It is an online world. It is a world where we will all be connected. And the faster we get acceptance of that idea, it is the faster and better our national development will be.
In other news, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the long-awaited report into the strategic review of the National Housing Trust will be debated in the House of Representatives soon. The report was completed in 2017 and tabled in Parliament shortly after. It is aimed at determining necessary reforms to be implemented at the agency to deliver its core mandate of providing houses to Jamaicans.
It really should have been debated long ago, but it is the kind of debate that requires the dedicated attention of the parliamentary agenda, and we're just trying to find that slot within the parliamentary agenda where we can debate that report. We, in short order, should find the space within the parliamentary agenda to dedicate 2 or 3 sittings to such a debate.
Prime Minister Holness was addressing Wednesday's groundbreaking for the Bustamante Children's Hospital Redevelopment Master Plan. Part of the plan includes the construction of a multipurpose building that will house a pediatric cardiac ward and overnight parent suite. The project is financed by the National Health Fund, the Southeast Regional Health Authority, and the National Housing Trust. It's part of the NHT's mandate to build communities around the houses it constructs. The government of Jamaica has joined member countries of the Caribbean Community CARICOM in flying all national flags at half-mast in tribute to the late President of Haiti, His Excellency Jovenel Moïse. President Moïse was assassinated in his home in Port-au-Prince on Wednesday. CARICOM heads of government convened an emergency meeting following reports of the death of President Moïse. The members agreed that all national flags, including the CARICOM standard, are to be flown at half-mast for a period of 3 days, beginning Wednesday. Flags will also be flown at half-mast on the day of President Moïse's funeral, which will be announced later.
We wish for the people of Haiti peace and stability at this time. We continue to monitor the situation and to gather as much information as we can.
And finally, Prime Minister the Most Honourable Andrew Holness has been appointed a member of the Privy Council. Governor-General Sir Patrick Allen issued a statement announcing the appointment Thursday, saying it became effective on May 26. The accepted form of address of the Prime Minister will be the Most Honourable Andrew Holness, ON, PC, MP, Prime Minister. Prime Minister Holness is to attend a meeting of the Privy Council at the first convenient opportunity to take the oath or affirm in the presence of Her Majesty, the Queen. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
My name is Venice Blackstock Murray. I am an Assistant Director of Public Prosecutions in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. We are extremely grateful to the EU for the contribution it has made to the justice system. We have benefited from the implementation of audiovisual technology within the courts, which allows us to take evidence from witnesses who will not be able to attend court personally. We know that the collaboration with the EU and the Ministry of Justice will help Jamaica to obtain a first-class justice system.
Summer school is now available to all students who would like to recover from the learning loss they experienced due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Youngsters, if you haven't already enrolled, it's not too late. In a moment, we'll be sharing all the important details you need to get involved. But before we do that, here's a story of a young man who was able to become the top CSEC student and valedictorian at his high school despite living with osteoporosis.
My name is Arva McKellop and I have osteogenesis imperfecta, also known as brittle bone. In short, it basically means that your bones are a lot easier to break than a normal person, and it makes everyday things more challenging for you. My condition of brittle bone is rather mild compared to others, but it's still very serious. Some of the characteristics of my brittle bone is that my sclera is slightly blue and I'm also rather short, and I also had bow leg, but that was corrected in grade 7. My father has the condition, so my family expected that I would also have the condition. Over the years, they've rather treated me like a member of the family, really, no different than anyone else.
But despite his family's efforts to protect and shield him, 18-year-old Orville has had his fair share of fractures over the years.
So I'm a student at the Jonathan Grant High School, and in the 7th grade, my first major accident occurred. I had to do a replacement surgery to replace the pins that were placed in my leg when I was around 4. And after that, during my time recovering, I tripped and fell and I broke my right femur and had to be hospitalized again. It was in the 8th grade when I tripped and fell in a class and broke both my left and right thigh. When you're recovering from a major surgery, you often get lost in boredom. You don't have much to do, so during that time I experimented, and graphic design was one of those things I experimented with, and over time it just grew into something more than just a hobby. I have very generous friends, I guess you could say, and they're very dedicated, so they would come visit me like 3 times for the week and bring notes to me so I could get them, and just to cheer me up.
And when it was time for Orville to return to school, he had the right support and frame of mind to resume his duties as a student.
My mom has been my greatest supporter throughout my time recovering and during my exams. She supports me by making sure on a daily basis I have everything I need for school, despite the cost or how hard it might be to get it. I had many friends. Sometimes it would be like a tug of war to see who would carry my bag today, who would carry my crutches today, and really was more of a race to see who would be able to carry me up the stairs first. I had to take a lot of time out and stop doing many of the things I would do in my extra time and dedicate most of my time towards studying. I mostly study when I get here at school, since I live in a rather noisy environment, so I'd rather get here super early so I can study until it's time for classes. Usually I'd get here by 9 o'clock, but my classes start at 12:20 to be exact.
Fast forward to a few years later, when the hard work, determination, and support of his friends and family have paid off. Orville has emerged as the top student of the graduating class of 2019 at Jonathan Grant High School.
I managed to get 10 subjects in the category of 4 1s and 6 2s. I mainly did business subjects and visual arts, along with the mandatory maths, English, and IT, and 3 others. Being the top student of the graduating class of 2019 is quite a... I wish I could say it was unexpected, but I was being hyped up the entire time by my friends. Who were like, yeah, you're gonna get it.
I'm happy that I got to see him go through his struggles and whatever he had to go through, and he still came out on top. He fell and he got back up. Orville is he's a great person, and I am motivated by him because he perseveres. He keeps pushing through regardless of his obstacles, and that is a great motivator. I am happy that I stuck to him.
The aspiring chartered accountant and graphic artist, who has received a full scholarship from the school to attend sixth form, vows to continue to excel in his future endeavors.
I plan on satisfying the requirements of the scholarship by giving my best in terms of my academic and extracurricular performances during my time here. As it pertains to where I would like to go after sixth form, I preferably like to go to either the University of the West Indies or UTech to pursue my career in accounting. I would just like to say thank you to each and everyone that has supported me throughout the years, even in the smallest way possible, because each and every one of you and your support, it really does matter to me.
Did you hear that? Government's National Summer School Program is now in session, and the call is for as many students as possible to participate. Education stakeholders, led by the Minister, recently sat down to answer all the questions parents and guardians might have about government's National School Learning and Intervention Plan. For those of you who missed the virtual town hall, we have the answers to your most pressing questions. Of concern to most persons, will students participate in face-to-face or virtual classes?
We have 2 modalities through which we will deliver this, online modality and face-to-face. So for the online, we have our service providers that many of your children are used to. We have the Learning Hub, we have EduFocal, we have One-on-One Educational Services Limited. It's their platforms that we will be using.
How about which students can participate in the face-to-face classes?
We're particularly prioritizing those students who have not been consistently engaged with the education system. They have not been consistently in the virtual world. They have not been able to watch TV where we have lessons that are broadcasted. They have not been able to listen to the radio. And in some cases, they have not been able to pick up their textbook or their worksheets from school. So we have a program to identify those students, sit with them in groups up to 15 to ensure that we can engage them again so that when we begin in the face-to-face world in September, they will not be lost.
And what about uniforms? Should they be worn to summer school?
There's no uniform that is required for summer school, and our principals are accustomed to this, and you will be given the guidance, modesty and so forth. So we want you to be comfortable in the learning environment. We want you to feel relaxed.
Students, of course, must be wondering, which subjects will they be learning in summer school?
We are mainly focusing on the core subject areas. For grades 1 to 3, we'll be focusing on mathematics and language arts literacy. For 4 to 6, the 4 areas I know most persons will be familiar with: mathematics, language arts, science, and social studies. That will follow through for grades 7 to 9. And for grades 10 and 11, students will have increased access to the subjects for which they would be preparing to sit CSEC, CSEC examinations. And that's particularly important for the students who would have deferred their sitting from this period, this July, August sitting, to January or to next year.
Okay, now how long is summer school going to be?
It's only 2 hours per day, Monday to Thursday, that we're asking you to be in the online world, in the face-to-face. It's for the month of July, so the month of August. You can have some rest and relaxation, but even then, the online platforms will still be available for you, and we're encouraging you to be self-directed, to still go on and avail yourself of what is there.
How will students receive learning material?
Our service providers, they would have put together a package of learning materials for the students already. And these are on the platform. And so these materials are accessible to our students. They can read at their leisure, and then they are given the opportunity to assess themselves through the assessment activities that are online. For our students in the face-to-face situation, materials will be provided through our curriculum unit and our officers in the region who are working with our teachers and lead teachers on the ground who are coordinating the summer school activities at the school levels.
How about the cost? Is summer school free?
In terms of the cost, there will be no cost to our parents. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information will be bearing the cost of the online platforms. We will be, for all the teachers and the tutors who will be engaged in the system, the ministry is also bearing the cost of that.
Will students be provided with meals during face-to-face classes?
We actually have some stock in hand, and we are getting new supplies for our boys and girls to have some snack for the 2 hours that they will be engaged in. So yes, we are thinking of our students. We are looking at the needs on the ground, and as we have always been as a ministry, whatever the situation is, we just look at what needs to happen. We dialogue with our parents and our principals and see what can be done.
And finally, what is the aim of the National Summer School Program?
Having gone 15 months of living with the COVID-19 pandemic, I know our students would have been suffering some amount of learning loss during that process. They were not in the familiar setting that they were used to. They had to be online. Sometimes they were not able to get on for whatever reason. And so we have to put in place additional programs that will help them to recover what it is that they would have lost and to take them beyond where they were when we started out in the pandemic.
If your questions were not answered today, simply visit the ministry's website at www.educate.gov.jm or call 888-EDUCATE. If you are no longer a high school student and you are not so sure what you'll be doing this summer, why not seek out a summer job? There are numerous programs available to recent high school graduates, such as the government's National Youth Summer Program, now known as the Hope Youth Summer Work Program. Learn more about this transformative initiative next.
The National Youth Service NYS is an entity that helps young people acquire life coping skills to foster their personal and career development.
Romario Wright, a young man who started here a few years ago as a very young and excited and exuberant young man, eager to work and wanting to work and to learn everything he could. He was hungry for growth, which he gained over the years, and coming here he was aspiring to use this as a stepping stone to get to university. to pursue his career in hospitality management, and this was the perfect platform for him.
It was through the NYS that Romario was placed at the Milk River Bath Resort and Spa in Clarendon. It's an establishment he never saw himself working at, but later realized had all the facilities to help him attain his career goals.
I was quite surprised because I did not know that here existed at the time. So I should give NYS or the National Youth Service thumbs up for that. I started at the front desk where my roles or function expanded to different or various departments, which includes like restaurant and bar, storeroom, the bath area, and over the time I have developed an interest in this field of hospitality, and it was upon that I decided to myself that I was going to do something other than what I started with.
Since his first placement in 2011, Romario has capitalized on the opportunity and is now a full-time employee at Milk River Bath and Spa, as well as a student at the University of Technology, Jamaica. He remains grounded in his pursuits and accredits his success to the National Youth Service Program.
Being involved in the National Youth Service, it has given me an opportunity as well as the second chance to basically go towards my dreams, my aspirations of being or becoming a hotel manager, as well as other careers.
The NYS program is actually a very good program because what it does is it actually provides persons to the workforce that you would maybe you would not usually see or get an opportunity to even interview. And some of these people might be from the neighborhood, but they would not try to get a job here or even apply. However, going through the program now and being placed here puts a totally different outlook on working in the hotel industry. And this provides a platform for them also to go into a larger hotel.
The encouragement that I've got from my co-workers, especially my boss and guests that we tend to have here come in, especially repeated guests, which has encouraged me to move up, elevate myself, and from that time onward, yes, I've been doing that.
Based on his enthusiasm, he can reach high places. And he can be a manager in a big hotel somewhere down the road if he maintains this type of work ethics and attitude towards work. And he's a fast learner. Being here, he has learned to work in all areas. He can be placed in any department at any time to do anything.
If you are unsure of what you want or the career that you want to pursue in the future, I would suggest that you go to the National Youth Service. I see it as opening different avenues, especially exposing you to fields which you haven't experienced before.
If you are interested in kickstarting your career, visit any of the National Youth Service offices across the island.
And this is where our program ends for today. Thanks so much for staying the entire show. As we depart, do remember that you can meet up with us again on our website, gis.gov.jm, or our YouTube channel. While you're online, don't forget to send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at gis.gov.jm and via our social media pages. On behalf of the production crew, I'm Sandra Johnson, reminding you to have a productive and safe summer holiday.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.